Hi there, welcome to another educational video documenting my Web3 expedition. This video is for you who is interested in yapping. There is another opportunity for yappers involving Theoriq AI. This video is going to prepare you for, starting out with respect to yapping about Theoriq. Would first of all start with how to get started, what rewards have been declared for yappers and the technicalities of that, then summarize what Theoriq AI is all in the course of this video. Although I've done videos in the past tracking Theoriq's evolution, so you may want to recount those videos for a fuller understanding of Theoriq, but this video is going to give you a gist. So we will start here. Now they've declared that they are going to be rewarding yappers. Originally, they had a leaderboard, but there was no declaration of a reward scheme. So take note when it comes to Kaito, many projects are on there with a leaderboard. It's not a promise, however, that they will reward you for yapping until there is a declaration to that effect, until they appear on this aspect of Kaito Earn. So all the projects here, they have declared rewards for yappers, including Theoriq. So if you use a Control F here and you type Theoriq, you will find Theoriq here. And activity period just started June 5th. Okay, 6 million tokens to Theoriq Yapper's ambassador and the Kaito ecosystem. Now, considering there is mention of the Kaito ecosystem, you would also find them showing up in this category here. Now, speaking of the Kaito ecosystem, that means that they will have rewards for stakers of the Kaito token and likely some rewards for holders of the Genesis NFT of Kaito. So that's just a side note. Of course, if you want to stake Kaito, you can stake Kaito here. You can obtain Kaito on the base chain and stake it. So generally, when you want to start with Kaito, you simply onboard with your X account. It's an AI powered project that tracks your social contributions to different Web3 projects on X by virtue of your posts and replies, and then ranks you on a leaderboard. So Theoriq has a leaderboard, but on Kaito, the leaderboard also only shows top 100. So you may not find yourself on the leaderboard. That should not discourage you, because you are somewhere there on the leaderboard, contributing to the mindshare of the project. In the event that they decide to reward everybody on the leaderboard, for example, you will likely qualify. So if you scroll down here, you are unlikely to see yourself, especially if you are just getting started. I'm also not here. Now, this doesn't mean that you will not earn an airdrop in the event of an airdrop. Have I earned airdrops from Kaito while not being on display on Kaito? Yes. Even though I've not been on the top 100 for many projects, I've managed to earn their airdrop. The last airdrop I earned, they distributed to the top 500. I ended up on there. So now it's not declared yet, you know, how many, uh, you know, how many people will be involved in the rewards, but let's try to decipher that in the course of this video. So this publication says, to celebrate, we've increased our total rewards to 6 million tokens for the Kaito ecosystem, adding 2 million tokens more as part of this launch. By the way, the main net of Theoriq is coming later in July. I've done a video about that. They are building in public, so their evolution so far has been documented. We will get to what they are building, by the way, after a short while. So here it says, as a bonus, we've launched a Yap Swarm leaderboard on our site, giving top contributors a way to track their rank and recognition at the top 250. Now, Kaito only displays top 100, but they've created a portal themselves that displays top 250. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that they will only reward top 250, but for some, this may give out a signal that they may favor distributing the allocation to top 250, although I don't think so. So don't be discouraged about starting your YAP journey with Theoriq, even after you have checked the leaderboard that they've created and don't see yourself on the amongst the top 250 as well. So I'm not on the top 250 myself. Let me see if I can open that leaderboard. So even if I've yapped actively about Theoric, I'm not on the top 250 uh, because it's competitive. So let's see here if I type Web3 wikis. I'm not there. So, should you be deterred or discouraged from talking about Theoric? No, even if you're not in the top 250, you should have a contributory mindset. And not to worry, this video will, intimate you about Theoric, inciting you to talk about them irrespective. Wow, this is interesting. This person has only 3 tweets, 181 impressions, but is able to reach the top 240 on the 7 day. This is interesting. This has only 1 tweet, zero impressions. This has only 238 tweets, 1 impression. That's interesting. This is insightful. I didn't take note of this. I will study this separately, but this is encouraging, tells you that you can actually rank here, you know, because many of this, uh, except this data is not correct, but that's interesting insight there. At the top, however, most people there have more impressions, more engagement. Okay. Okay. So, at this stage, maybe we should quickly talk about what Theoric is, and that will incite you to, yap about them without reservedness, because for some, they are not yapping about Theoric because they consider it a complex project in the realm of AI, are not very savvy with these types of projects. I'm not tech savvy myself, so but I'm able to yap about Theoric uh, as you're about to, based on my short explanation here. So we all know that there is a niche of AI in the making. It just started out generally, but in Web3, there is a niche of decentralized AI. As much as we have the likes of ChatGPT and all that, they are centralized in nature, monopolized by singular entities. So, they we know the limitations surrounding centralized AI. There's no clarity on, there's no transparency in most matters. Like all your inquiries on ChatGPT, for example, where is it deposited into, database wise? Many times you relinquish your privacy in those chat inquiries and put it in the hands of a singular entity who reuses it, analyzes it, perpetually and stuff like that. We know how the Web2 world works. You don't have any ownership in or say in matters, bringing us to the need for decentralized AI, one where you can be impactful, you have privy into how this data is distributed, amongst other things. So Theoric is building decentralized AI, basically contributing to its evolution, uh, but at an advanced level. Of course, they are building in the niche of decentralized AI. Now we're familiar with solo agents that are specialized in carrying out your intent being DeFi action. So you can talk to an agent these days, tell it, oh, why not swap for me? So I did a video just before this video featuring an agent called Newton. You can have this agent administer buys for you on the base chain at different time intervals. And all you need to do is inform it of your intent, tell it the interval. If you want it to buy on every hour, give it an amount to use for the trades, and it will execute autonomously even in your absence. So this is a solo agent. It's specialized in performing one act and one act only. Now, Theoric is bringing about an advancement to that possibility by introducing swarms of agents. So basically, it's creating a platform, this time a blockchain, where specialized agents can now work as a unit, based on each other's data. So an agent that is versed in DCA can put its, document its expeditions on the Theoriq blockchain, programmable for use by other specialized agents. And then, uh, so one that is good in DCA, for example, provides insight. Then the other agent that is, struggling in that realm uses that data, improves. Then you have a swarm of agents that can now carry out your intent, but together. Okay, so hopefully, I didn't, hopefully that explains it. So Theoric is coming about with a system that allows individual or solo specialized agents to communicate and work in sync. To be able to pull that off, it needs to have a chain, that stores data, keeps it censor proof, and all agent actions verifiable, stuff like that. So anyway, let's read from here. The Theoric protocol enables autonomous agents to collaborate, optimize liquidity, and perform complex financial tasks on chain, creating a trust minimized adaptive ecosystem for DeFi. So it's bringing them on chain. Generally, with solo agents, they perform their computations and all that off chain. There is also a lack of transparency there. So, what another thing Theoric protocol is solving is bringing all these agents on chain. So they, as a swarm, they are more efficient, more capable with predictions and all that. Okay. Now, they started out with an infrastructure to allow people train specialized solo agents. So if you look at the evolution of Theoric, they started out with an agent kit that allows developers build specialized agents. Then they brought about an infrastructure that allowed these specialized agents to work in sync. And the end destination is something called Alpha Swarm. It's basically a portal that individuals can access for their DeFi needs, and projects, tokenized projects, can incorporate into their system to manage their DeFi actions large scale. Okay, so core aspects of Theoric is this. Just a moment. Okay, core aspects is this: DeFi primitives, infrastructure purpose built to power agentic economy, enabling advanced financial operations like autonomous trading, yield optimization, and treasury management across DeFi. So the agents will be able to, perform all the specialized DeFi tasks autonomously, but now they'll be doing it as a swarm. So that's the key element there. Agent autonomy: agents are autonomous actors that register, publish their capabilities, and interact with other agents and protocols via trust minimized programmable logic. We've talked about that. Swarm coordination: agents dynamically form swarms to address complex multi agent tasks, natively supporting role allocation, voting mechanisms, and adaptive strategy execution. Agent reputation: agent actions, task outcomes, and verifiable results are recorded to build reputation scores, drive performance incentives, and enable trustless collaboration at scale. Now, here is the result of here is the grand scope of what theoric AI is. So it's going to provide an atmosphere for agent developers to access high quality signals, deploy and monetize their own agents, so they can tap into, the existing uh, database or historical database containing analytics from agents. So that's one thing developers will be able to do. They will also be able to deploy and monetize their own agents. and integrate them on chain to build autonomous, self improving systems for complex DeFi use cases. So, one thing that Theoric brings about with the introduction of Swarm is the ability for agents to self improve because now they have perpetual access to data from other agents and they can work in unison. Then they can strategically work on improvement. So let's say they attempt to carry out an action, it's not perfect, or let's say they are vying for 10% yield, and they start out you start out and basically the yield is 1%. It will continue to improve until it reaches that 10%. I don't know how to explain it better, but I have a gist of what I'm saying because I explored one agent, uh, one platform that uses an agentic swarm, and you would see the history of improvement over time. When you simply deposit to the agent and it sources out yield opportunities across multiple chains. Now, when you start out, you may find 0.1% as the APY, but go there weeks later and you'll see it's now at 2%. So it continuously self improves. Now, investors, institutional and retail investors can leverage Theoric swarms to optimize capital deployment, automate rebalancing, and maximize yield in volatile, fast moving markets. So this talks about an economy, uh, you know, considering that the data that will now be available courtesy of swarms of agents, investors can key into that data and they may have to pay for it, to be able to use Theoric Swarm to perform their DeFi activities. Tokenized networks. Projects with native tokens can use Theoric's protocol to launch new financial primitives across enabling DeFi enabling simple liquidity access, protocol level collaboration, and cross agent coordination. So this also speaks of economy here. Projects that have their tokens may want to access Theoric protocol. Uh, in effect, it's called Alpha Swarm. It's the last iteration of their project, the before mainnet. So basically, they will be able to. Uh, I don't know if it's paid or something like that, but access Alpha Swarm to manage their treasuries. Find new uh, utility for their tokens and prefer that to their users. So, anyway, let me expand on that very quickly. So, most token projects they seem to die out after TGE. People, let's say the price plummets, and then the community no longer they have no idea what to do with the token. The token is just passively there, no market making, no. Now, Alpha Swarm will be able to handle this for a project, keep the token vibrant and alive, intimate the end user on what they can do with their tokens or liquidity prospects for their tokens, manage the treasury of the project to find revenue opportunities and keep sustaining the project, all that. Infrastructure partners can contribute specialized market signals to Theoric's agent ecosystem, monetizing their data, improving agent performance, and gaining visibility across the DeFi ecosystem. So, infrastructure partners can monetize their data, so yes, so maybe uh a certain application, like maybe Chainlink, for example, has some real world insight that's maybe private. They can decide to prefer it to Theoric and get paid for that. Then the Theoric uses that insight to enhance their swarm of agents. So, anyway, use cases, we all know that. So, we will not dwell on that. Basically, everything DeFi this agent swarm will be able to do over the course of time. Okay. and then maybe advance into other aspects of DeFi that are non trading, such as governance and all that. Okay, so autonomous trading, yield optimization, liquidity provisioning. The edge you have with your Theoric is you will be able to do so using as an entire swarm of agents will be carrying out your intent that are self-improving and of course verifiable on chain. Okay, so that gives you insight into what Theoric is. I believe now you can start yapping about it. All you need to do is play with the homepage, track their Twitter, and see what they are talking about. They are building in public, so they release publications consecutively about their stage of building. So I've done a video tackling this OLP agent and how they evolved it, starting with, yes, so this basically breaks it down. Each agent has its own role. One is a research agent, for example. Then there's a forecast agent, a policy agent, that creates the parameters for execution. Then an action agent that actually goes to execute stuff like that. Okay, so now another key aspect that I didn't talk about is this portal here, where you can prepare to test out Theoric and also earn some points. Now, in the event that they have a dedicated airdrop for users, you'd likely earn that. So that's a good starting point as well. For now, the portal doesn't have much that you can do besides social quests. So you can get started with that as well. So this is for the non-yapper. Let me just show you how it looks. Then we will proceed to Kaito. So this is how it looks basically. And the task you can carry out for now is join their Discord, Twitter. Yes, and you'll earn some XP. Soon you'll be able to access what they are building and test it out via this portal. Okay, so let's go back here and scroll down a bit. When we launched the Theoric leaderboard on Kaito, we committed 3 million tokens in rewards for all you engaged yappers. So this was the initial announcement, April 11th. We then allocated another 1 million to yappers as part of our ambassador program to strengthen our community connection until mid-July. This will include the top 101 to 250 yappers on the 30-day leaderboard. Wow, interesting. So that 250 number, it has relevance, but that is exclusive to 1 million tokens. So the 1 million tokens dedicated to ambassador is going to apply to. So you see this announcement here talks of all engaged yappers, 3 million. Just a moment. So those emerging yappers actively creating, curating, and amplifying theory content, we've committed 3 million. So they also value curation and amplified theory content. So like reposts of their content and all that, interactions with their content. So this original announcement involved 3 million tokens. It seemed that this would have factored most yappers. But now they've increased the allocation to 6 million with 1 million. Okay, I get it now. So 2 million is going to ecosystem. So that involves stakers of the Kaito token. We've talked about that already. Then 1 million is going to an ambassador allocation, which is going to factor in the top 101 to 250 yappers on the 30-day leaderboard. Okay. After that, the extra rewards will go to the top 50 yappers, not including tier 1 and tier 2. Now, I don't understand that fully. I don't understand what is tier one and tier two. Uh, I don't understand it fully, but it's good if you are able to at least vie for the top 250 Yapper category based on what I'm saying here. To make it easy for you to track your place on the leaderboard, we have also launched a dynamic Yap Swarm leaderboard that gives visibility for the top 250 Yappers on our website. So we've shown that already. We are now adding an additional 2 million to celebrate our launch on Kaito Earn. 1 million will go directly to Kaito stickers to align. So it's actually 1 million for Kaito stickers. The other 1 million is set for a special initiative, more details dropping soon. So there's still 1 million where the details are not known. So for now, you may want to try to reach the top 250, which I believe is possible. I'll do another video about that because from what I'm seeing on that leaderboard, except the data is not, up to date, it does look possible to climb. So to conclude this video, we'll just look at it one more time and then we'll end the video. Because I wouldn't want to start analyzing, people's accounts specifically, and highlight their accounts and all that. So, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. Like, let's see, let's scroll. Okay, look at this, 0 tweets, 0 impression, yet contributing 0.48. Now, you cannot rely on tweets alone and impressions. Each project, they do have a say on how their leaderboard is defined, not only Kaito. Okay, so this is understandable. This is a Kaito uh, member. So you want to follow, a user like this and interact with them. So that's interesting there. Let's look. Now, I'm not doing this to highlight accounts. I'm just doing it to for inspiration. I cannot compete in this realm. I don't get that much engagement on X specifically. So this user has one tweet with 1.3K impressions. Let's look at this user very quickly. But has 13,000 followers. Interesting. So just one viral tweet. Likely this one, maybe. But this is understandable because Kaito, it has a regional leaderboard. So this is understandable because this is in a certain it's regional. So very insightful. So let's scroll down to my range, because this top range I can't match the impressions here. This user has 4 likes, 37 impressions. Now, I want to open this user just to see if the data is correct because the data too may not be correct. So, Web3, let me just look for one Theoriq post and see if it has a large number of impressions. Also, if you are a focused yapper, if you are focused on Theoriq alone, you'd easily climb compared to covering many projects. So this is May 30. Not many posts about Theoriq. Multiplify near blockchain. Not many posts about Theoriq yet at the top. So there is indeed a chance. Okay, bringing us to the end of this video. If you have questions, ask me via airdropc.com. There is an avenue to reach me at the bottom of the homepage. Scroll down and pose your question using this contact form, this Telegram, or this Twitter. Subscribe to Airdrop Reminders by submitting your email here. I'm working on 100 solid airdrop prospects. Each will have its own publication tutorial coming soonest to subscribers. So submit your email here. Contact me using the I've said that already. Subscribe to Web3 Wikis on all socials. Stay awesome. Take action.